May we see your invitation?
Odd groups got left, even groups got right.
Master, I hope I served you well.
More dogs, more dogs.
Too soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second video in our TBC reputation guide. Today we're going to be covering the Horde equivalent of Honor Hold in the Hellfire Peninsula zone, and that is Thrallmar. If this is your first time watching a reputation guide on this channel, I'd like to warmly welcome you to the channel. If you're not familiar with how the format's going to look, here's how I normally do it. I'm going to go over how to get the reputation, and then of course all the items and little novelty things that you can get from each tier of the reputation. This includes Friendly, Honored, Revered, and of course Exalted. Alright, so now that that brief introduction is out of the way for everyone, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is how to rep. So how do you get reputation for Thrallmar? Well, it's honestly really simple. There's 3 different alternatives that you can do to get this reputation. The first one is probably going to be a little bit easier, I guess, for most newer players, just because the level of the mobs are actually pretty low. They're around like 60 to 63. You can kill open world NPCs that are the orcs around Hellfire Citadel. They reward some reputation. In addition to that, there are some quests that you can do to get the reputation from Thrallmar. Although normal quests that you can start inside that town will award Thrallmar rep. In addition to this, there is a daily PvP quest named Hellfire Fortifications. This one is where you have to go and turn on your PvP and go capture the 3 little arena points that are scattered around Hellfire Citadel. And upon completion, you get awarded with 150 Thrallmar reputation. But if you're not the biggest fan of questing or open world mob grinding, don't worry, because there's always instances to get the rep for you. So for reputation gains in the early levels, Hellfire Ramparts and the Blood Furnace will be the best options for you. Definitely probably don't enter the Blood Furnace until probably 62 at minimum, but they do award reputation up to the Friendly tier level. Of course, past that, once you get towards the topper tiers around like Revered and Exalted, you can start to gain rep again around level 70 in the Shattered Halls instances. Alright, so now that we've gotten how to rep out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the items and novelty pieces that you can get from each tier of the reputation. So these are the items that you can get from Quartermaster Urgon at the Friendly reputation level. Alright, so coming up first, we have a design for all the Jewel Crafters, and it is the Enduring Deep Peridot. And for the Enchanters, you have something you can get at the Friendly reputation level, which is Enchant Bracer Superior Healing. Alrighty, so next up we're going to be looking at all the items that you can get from the Honored tier level with Thrallmar. There's a lot to kind of unbox here, so let's take a look at it. First up, something to note is the Flame Route key. This is the key that unlocks heroic difficulty for all the Hellfire Citadel dungeons. We also have a recipe for Elixir of Major Agility, a pattern for Leatherworkers, which is the Cobra Hide leg armor, a pretty decent ring for any casters out there. It is the Farseer's Band, and a Glyph of Fire Warding, which permanently adds 25 resistance to a head slot item. Alright, so there's quite a bit to unpack with Revered, so I'm going to go over the designs, formulas, and patterns first. First off, we have the Nether Scale Ammo Pouch, which is really good for hunters, because that's more space for you to carry stuff. Formula Enchant, Exceptional Stats, that increases the stats by 6, which is amazing. And then of course we have the Dawnstone Crab design for any of the Jewel Crafters out there. Alright, next up we have the Ancestral Band, which is a pretty decent caster ring for any of those fresh level 70s that maybe just didn't really get any good ones. We have the Blackened Spear for any of those arms warriors or perhaps Retribution Paladins. Hellfire Shot is phenomenal for hunters. Warriors, you can get some use out of it, but I think it's just better for hunters just because it's a pretty decent solid projectile damage. In addition to that, we have the Glyph of Renewal, which is, in my opinion, probably a go-to for a lot of healers because it adds 35 healing, 12 spell damage, and 7 mana per 5 to a head slot item. Alright, so when taking a look at Exalted, there's pretty decent items in here. First one is going to be plans for the blacksmiths, and that's going to be the Fail Still Shield Spike. We have a formula for Enchant's Cloak Subtlety. We have the Nether Cobra leg armor, and then of course the best in slot tabard, the Thrallmar tabard. And Exalted does not disappoint in terms of weapons that you can get once you hit the Exalted tier. Marksman bow is phenomenal. The Warbringer is a really nice one-handed axe, and for any Blood Elf protection paladins out there, the Stormcaller is something that I would probably recommend you to Prio and try to get as fast as you can, just because it offers you a decent amount of stamina intellect. It has a nice attack speed. In addition to that, it improves your spell critical strike rating, which can scale off judgments, and sometimes even your Avenger's Shield. And in addition to that, it gives you a solid amount of damage and healing at 159. Alrighty, and this has been the second episode of our TBC Reputation Guide. I'm going to try to keep going through the rest of the reputations in the Outlands, so I'll probably try to put out one reputation guide per week. In addition to that, I'll probably throw out an additional video each week. It'll be probably TBC related, but on a different subject. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and if you have a recommendation for a video, please let me know and I will get those out to you as soon as I can. But until next time, you guys, peace.